Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. But you're here live with us on Co-working Live with Red Worldwide, and we are so excited that you're here with us today. I am Dr. Patience Jackson Rose, and I am your facilitator, moderator, educator of all things business. Entity to try to help you learn how to do business better. My goal is to navigate you through these waters and to assist you with all things that I believe are things that business owners need to know in order for them to be in business and to be doing business well. So we are going to jump into it tonight. We don't have an awful lot of time, but we do want to get you into the know with regards to how to build better business legacy. How do you go forward in having wealth beyond profits? Okay. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. Redefining success with generational wealth. We do this once a week where we talk about wealth and legacy and what it is that we can do as business owners in making sure that we are building a legacy so we have a legacy to leave. Okay. So with that said, let's go to our slides. Wealth beyond profit, redefining success with generational wealth. And um, I want to really talk to you a little bit about, the fact that having generational wealth is more than just being financially successful. It's really about creating, like I talked about before, building a legacy that benefits future generations. Because of course we cannot leave something we didn't build. So we've got to take the time to create that legacy. And so this particular episode is really exploring the concept of sustainable financial strategies, wealth transfer, and cultivating a mindset of abundance. I mean, you got to be able to see it the way that you need to see it in order for it to manifest. And so we're going to really jump in here so that we can understand what it looks like for us to be, in a legacy business where we are pushing and promoting generational wealth. So the first thing you got to be thinking about is you have to secure a future. Okay. And when you have generational wealth, you have the financial stability for future generations. When you have done the work to plan out your business that will be sustainable for future generations, that will thrive because of you, that will endure beyond you, it gives you the ability to provide for those generations a necessary amount of financial and other resources for their to ensure their well-being and to ensure that there are opportunities for them to continue to have the business going forward and years beyond even them. And having a family legacy, we want to be able to understand how we can foster a sense of purpose and a sense of shared or collective history, how we can strengthen our family bonds and create a lasting legacy, one that is enduring, like I said before, beyond us. Okay. And then how do we have positive impact? Well, generational wealth can be used to make a positive impact on society through the philanthropy that you are involved in, but an investment in important causes, but also through the culture that you're creating. When you have intergenerational learning, transferring the knowledge and the values across generation, you can promote financial literacy and responsibility of, stewardship of the wealth that you are, creating. And so when we're talking about sustainable financial strategies, we want to look at diversification, investing in a variety of asset classes such as stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, this reduces risk and it maximizes returns when you're able to diversify enough where you're not depending on one specific asset class too much, so that if something happens in an industry, or if something happens with the bond market, if something happens in the world, if there's a war or whatever else might come, you are in a situation where you only have that one asset class to rely on, for your family and for your business. So you want to make sure that you've diversified enough so that there are options. And then you want to have a long-term perspective. Focusing on long-term growth and avoiding short-term speculation allows for wealth accumulation over time. What is it that you are going to be paying attention to, in your family, in your business, and with your wealth? How do you look at, the maximizing opportunities to grow your wealth over years? What are the ethical investments, that you need to be making to make sure that whatever it is that you're putting your money into is aligning with your values? And I mean, you want to be thinking about the social responsibility, that goes along with what you're investing in. And can it generate both financial and social returns? There is a lot to be said about people who are looking at their investments and thinking about, is this something that aligns with my core values, with my vision? And as you're looking at these things, what happens is that you come into a place of where you are able to make better decisions and plan for your finances, to have exactly what you intended, when you sought out your creation of the company. So working with a financial advisor, so you can develop a personalized plan that meets your financial goals and that ensures long-term sustainability is key. How do you structure your business for wealth transfer? Well, the one thing that I know of that, a lot of you who know me, is that you want to make sure that you're starting to plan out your family's legacy through estate planning. Developing a comprehensive estate plan, including your wills, your trust, your durable power of attorney, your living will. That's a good start, for making sure that you have structure, in your business, for the wealth transfer. And if you are in a family business, it's key to make sure that you have these types of structures available so that there is a smooth wealth transfer, from one generation to the next. But you also want to be looking at your succession planning in your business. And we've talked about succession planning before. You've seen maybe some of our previous episodes. You might have seen how we do succession planning. We had a really good episode on how do we plan, for the next generation of owners or managers, or how do we, plan to turn the company over to our children. These are things that we looked at, and we actually had a very cohesive plan for the transfer of business ownership, including the training, the mentoring of successors, and how we actually create and project the culture that we really want our business to have. And then, of course, we want to be looking at our tax optimization, because when you understand, and leverage the tax laws, then the regulations can minimize tax liabilities and maximize the wealth transfer. And that's what we're looking to do. And so we want to, start building out the wealth for future generations by making sure we put some very key things in place. So let's look at some of these. Financial education. It's very important that you are working with the family, working with your business owners and those who are in positions of authority within your company to make sure that they have the financial education needed, to um, transfer wealth to future generations, including budgeting, investing, saving, and, for that matter, even creating other businesses that might even be connected to yours. Okay, and this empowers your generations to manage their finances wisely when they can look back and see what it is that you're doing through the financial education that you're providing. And then, of course, values transmission, being able to transmit the family values, the principles such as hard work, generosity, and responsibility. It creates a strong foundation for financial success. And having the mentorship guidance, okay? This is really important when you're able to offer guidance and support in the family's financial endeavors, because this will help future generations avoid common pitfalls and make informed decisions. And then lastly, when you're able to build relationships, strengthening the family's relationships and fostering communication promotes collaboration and understanding in wealth management. And it really does give you what it is that is key, for making sure that everybody is on the same page and that we're all moving, in a succinct pattern, for the family to cause all of our wealth building to be done, in a way that is very beneficial. Now, how do we overcome some challenges, to generational wealth? What is it that we need to do to make sure that, when we're up against a barrier or a perceived barrier, that we come out on the other side in the way that we really intended to? Well, let's look at the challenge of high taxes. Sometimes people are in a situation where the taxes are absorbent. They're not what they were expecting, and there needs to be a plan. And I will tell you that the best plan is to plan. Okay. There are a lot of people who end up with tax implications because they failed to plan. And so when we're looking at, our tax planning and our wealth preservation strategies, we want to be thinking about how do we coordinate, our opportunities, for generational wealth in such a way that we are able to, continuously mitigate tax and use taxes as levers, because they really will open doors if you understand the tools that taxes can be and what it is that you can do to, use those tools efficiently. Okay, what about inflation? How do you invest in assets that outpace inflation, such as real estate and equities? What is it that you can do, to future proof your wealth transfer? How is it that you can make sure that your business will be around long enough to make these transfers into the next generations? So we want to be looking at things that we can do, during the time of economic uncertainty, like diversifying and risk management strategies, when you're able to mitigate risk that very well may be a threat to your family's wealth. However, when you are taking the time to look at the situation and plan out a strategy, navigate that plan, and make sure that what it was that you were aiming to do actually gets done in a very in most appropriate way. And then, of course, we want to look at the family conflicts. How do we have open communication and transparent wealth management practices? What is it that we can do when we're discussing these with our children and our siblings or even our spouses to make sure that the communication chain does not get broken and we don't end up in a situation where people are fighting with each other instead of working together to transfer the wealth, at in a way that is efficient. Okay, so how do we cultivate a mindset of abundance? Well, the first thing is you have to be grateful for what you have. When you can appreciate what you have, it fosters a positive outlook and attracts abundance into your life. And many people that are watching this, you should be able to know what I'm talking about. You've been in situations where, you may have watched another family who has a different way of viewing things, and they end up, with all types of issues that have occurred because they do not understand how to be grateful for the very, very basic things that they have. And the attitude of gratitude will position you, so that abundance will be able to come your way. And so having the abundance mindset entails believing in your ability to create wealth and abundance in your life and acting accordingly. In our faith tradition, we, talk a lot about thinking on positive things and things that are, lovely, and things are of good report, things that, will create for you an atmosphere of abundance if you would just utilize them. And then, of course, having, alongside the gratitude and the abundance mindset, the level of generosity that's required for you to be able to share your wealth and resources, so that it can create a ripple effect of abundance that benefits both yourself and others. And then, of course, having a continuous growth practice, continuously learning and evolving, being a lifelong student, a lifelong learner, so that you personally and financially will be able to benefit, from that growth pattern. It opens you up to new opportunities and expands your potential. So, in the realm of legacy planning and asset protection, there are four things that we really want to look at. And the first thing is trusts. Trusts are legal entities that hold and manage assets for the benefit of designated beneficiaries. Some of you guys have been used to hearing me talk about trusts, and you might have heard me speak of a trust as an agreement or a contract. And it is a legal document that absolutely will, make sure that the if it's a revocable trust, meaning that it's operating under your social security number and it's operating in a way that is going to protect your assets from probate, then of course, it is holding the assets and managing the assets for your beneficiaries when you pass away. But it also is providing you the protections and the options that you need while you're still alive. Okay. But then there's the irrevocable trust that also is designed to hold and manage and distribute your wealth. And it's the benefits are there for the designated beneficiaries, but it is separated from you, so it doesn't operate off of your social security number. It has its own EIN number, and its purpose is with the intent of making sure that it has the ability to distribute the wealth to your heirs and protect the wealth from creditors, predators, and editors. Okay. And then there's life insurance and other forms of insurance as well that protect your assets and even your physical person from unexpected events and provide financial security. Okay. And so you got to really look at the fact that you need to make sure that you have these protections in place, because when you do, then you don't have to be concerned about the, unexpected. You've already put things in place to take care of what is necessary. And then you want to have asset protection strategies such as asset diversification, offshore accounts, and, qualified benefit plans, IRAs, all of these particular types of strategies, can safeguard assets from legal claims and economic downturns. I mean, they can make sure that your assets are growing at the rate that they were intended to, and making sure that you have access, to them at the times when you need. And then, of course, charitable giving. You don't want to miss this because you want to make sure that you are donating to charities, that you have some level of philanthropy involved in your life, that you can create the lasting legacy and support the causes that you care about. Okay, so lastly, our takeaways today is that you want to make sure that you create a financial plan. If you don't do anything else, really think about this part, okay? That you need to have some sort of plan that's tailored to your circumstances and goals. You want to also build a diversified portfolio. You want to mitigate any risk and maximize your returns. You want to cultivate a long-term mindset. Avoid impulsive decisions. Think, beyond next year, okay? Or for that matter, next week. You want to seek professional advice. Consult qualified financial advisors when needed. This is going to be really important because you don't want to depend on just what you know. You want to go to people who have tested out processes and trained and become certified in this and skilled in providing professional advice in the matters that are closely related to what it is that you're doing. So if you are working on trust, you want to be working with an estate planner or a trust attorney or someone that can give you the advice that you require to be able to do what it is that you are doing. You want to plan for tax implications because the more you make, of course, the more there is to tax. And so you want to explore tax efficient strategies to preserve your wealth. And then you want to embrace a mindset of abundance and continuous learning so that you can make sure that you're always bringing in the information that will help you in your program and planning, okay, for wealth building. And then you want to involve future generations, ensure continuity and success in your wealth planning. Make sure you're already looking at who your next level of managers or supervisors or owners are so that you can actually be doing everything that you can do to help them learn as much as possible so that when they do take over, from you, they're able to do it with excellence. Then you want to prioritize family relationships, foster communication about finances, actually have these conversations so that people will be able to understand what it is that they are receiving when you do pass things on. You want to leverage the power of compound interest. Grow your wealth over time because it will give you the ability to make more, okay, with what it is that you are utilizing, in terms of your investments and opportunities. And then you want to consider philanthropy and charitable giving, as I talked about earlier, making it a part of your legacy plan to give back and to give away, because you really benefit when you do that. And you want to also make sure that you're using insurance and legal structures to avoid unexpected events. You protect your assets with the right vehicles and be mindful of the evolving economic landscape because it requires that you're going to have to adapt your strategies accordingly, knowing that at any moment something could change. And lastly, you want to stay informed. Be aware of current market trends and investment opportunities so that you don't miss an opportunity, to become, more financially secure, but also that you don't end up losing money because you put it somewhere where it was not the best possible investment. Well, this has been Dr. Patience Jackson Rose again with just a little short bit of sharing today about building out your wealth beyond your profits. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow where we're going to talk about doing business well because it's Wellness Wednesday tomorrow. We want to make sure that you're on with us so that we can help you participate in learning more about, protecting your most important asset, which is you. I look forward to seeing you again next time.